Okay, let's see how well everything's running. Seems like everything's
Oh
okay.
no.
All right, we might still have a little lag in there. I don't know, but it looks like things are running much better than they were. So the reboot definitely seemed to have helped. I'm worried it's this Ko-Fi thing right here I added, adding extra alerts. You know how that goes. We already got enough animated stuff on the screen. But anyway, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Tales from the Table, our little D&D game that we run here on Twitch. We are currently running Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. More specifically, this is the second half of our two-part prologue, Fall of El Turel, that leads into Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. So we are just getting started, with the campaign as a whole. And we got some fresh new faces in for the characters, and they've just just starting their days of adventuring. Except for maybe Vanriel. He's had a couple of days of adventuring ahead of him. He's the older guy in the group, I think.
Yeah,
Um, Youngest player, oldest character. I love it. You know
exactly.
what I mean, as far as that goes. But yeah, either way, I just want to go ahead and do a quick rundown. My name is Kevin. I go by It's So Sublime. I'm your storyteller for this evening and all that fun stuff. Our lovely players here will, I'm sure, introduce themselves again at some point. Probably we'll get to that at the end. You already said hello. But anyway, this is Tales from the Table is the name of the stream as far as what we put all of our D&D content under. The name of the channel is Tabletop Down. If you want to find Tabletop Down on YouTube or Twitter, any of those things, you can find it at Tabletop Down. We're real easy to find. My stuff is, also listed under It's a Sublime, and you can find either of us on the internet as far as you want to go there. But for this game, just to give you a quick rundown, we're running it pretty much right out of the story, but as a fun way to make it exciting for you guys, the chat, to get involved with the story, we have added this option here. You guys can get involved with the Blood War that we'll be diving into later in the campaign, the Battle of Good versus Evil. So which side do you want to serve? You guys can help the players and the side of good, the forces of, good as far as that goes, by helping them have advantage or potions, a couple of spell scrolls, or maybe even call in a helpful ally from time to time. Or you can side with the evil, turn to the dark side, Luke, and help out the bad guys by giving the GM advantage, scrolls, potions, etc. Or even call in a sinister ally that may come and help out during battle. So if you guys want to check any of that stuff out, follow the link in the chat or down below in the Twitch panels to our Ko-Fi page. You can find all the things that you can do in the store that allow you to interact with the channel. It's never been easier. You just go there, you click the button, you pay $2, and it'll immediately tell me which character gets advantage, and you don't have to do anything else after that. It makes everything so much simpler now, to where you guys can have a major impact on the game with very little work to do it. But also you're doing a huge job at supporting the stream and helping us keep do this. If it wasn't for you guys in the chat, none of this would be possible. We couldn't, there's no way I would have all the time to dedicate to it if you guys weren't, helping us keep the stream running. So thank you. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump back into our game as we were heading towards our group of cultists dressed in Cult of the Dragon robes. You see another member that is dressed as a member of the Cult of the Dragon, and as you approach him, making your way closer, you're able to realize that he is not moving. And as you take a closer inspection around the front of this character, he is standing still as a scarecrow pinned to the ground by that of a spear that is penetrated through his chest, out his back, and wedged in the ground, that is holding him in place in the middle of this road. Maybe as a warning, maybe as a distraction, it is hard to tell, but it's just at the moment when you realize that this is not another average Joe just standing there in the street. As you come around that's where we went to break. So this is a great chance for us to dive right back in. Let's head over to our map screen here, and we'll go ahead and begin this little adventure. So you guys had just discovered this as you come around. Rhea immediately says, "Oh shit." And you see a kind of look on her face of concern and worry as she begins taking a quick look around. If I could, everybody go ahead and give me a perception check. This is an area where I actually want to check from everyone, just so we can get an idea of, what you guys happen to notice in the area. So we
I'm
got
looking at the dead dude.
Vanroll at 11. Correct. Maxwell, you see a dead guy. I mean, he's dead. That dude's deader than dead. He's graveyard dead.
Did.
Let's see. So, it looks like Numo and Alejandro, you are the only two that happen to notice. But as you guys, oh, I gotta readjust my opacity there. There we go. As you guys are making your way around, this body, you do realize, of course, that he is deceased, but something else stands out to you. You begin to hear the sounds of someone just around the corner to your right through the woods making some sort of a sound. You almost hear like a sound of stone or an occasional thud or crack of something hard banging off of something else, like two rocks being smashed together, or something to that effect. That is the sound that you would hear coming from around the corner. You two are the ones that catch it. Nobody else at this point has heard it, but you guys are able to hear that there is definitely something going on around the corner this way.
Did you put a pin on the map when you say this way?
Yeah, absolutely. This direction. You guys should now be able to see that there are some characters over here. So that's the direction that you hear some sounds from.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know if it came up on our
Probably
side.
could have waited a second before I did that, but that's okay.
Numo's like,
I'm gonna.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna start examining the spear in question and see if I could recognize the make of it to try to figure out, like, is this a goblin spear? Is this a Hell Rider spear? Is it
Definitely.
Shakespeare?
A Shakespeare. Nice. It is a Shakespeare fishing pole. That's what it is. But yeah, so let's see. I think we used intelligence for this, like kind of an investigation check last time as for your tinker's tools. But I'll actually say you can go ahead and have advantage on this one if you would like to, because this is something that is right in your wheelhouse. You know what I mean? All right, with the 12, it's definitely not a goblin spear. It's metal made. It has been forged. It's not the best work, but it looks probably like one of the local blacksmiths from El Churro. You know what I mean? You're not seeing a specific maker's mark that you recognize. It just seems like these have probably been mass produced in a way. You know what I mean? This wasn't something that somebody was proud enough to put a special mark on. But yeah, definitely one of probably the local blacksmiths of El Churro would have pumped these things out in mass production just to put on the stores, as a self-defense weapon. But
Out loud,
it does look local, at least.
I tell the others, all right, what we're looking at here, and I point to the weapon, is possibly the most generic spear I've ever seen.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, that was me. I'm telling you about this cool spear.
No. Something is like
Oh.
smashing, rocks hitting together. Can't you hear that?
Yes,
I shake my head
I
solemnly.
hear too. Over that way?
Exactly.
And now that they call it to your attention, you guys can also hear this sound. You'll hear an occasional kind of sound of two things being smashed in, and then actually even an occasional maybe murmuring or words that are coming from that direction, as if someone was talking. You're definitely hearing the sounds of someone else now that you're able to catch it.
Does the dead guy have a coin purse?
As a matter of fact, he probably would have some things on him. Let me go ahead and pop that up real quick. Taking a quick look, he does have a coin purse on him.
I help him to make an unscheduled donation to the Hell Riders.
That is it. He does have a coin purse on him containing 5 silver pieces and an additional 5 gold pieces. But he is also wearing a ring that is worth 15 gold pieces. It has an insignia of Tiamat kind of inscribed across it. if you would recognize that. So yeah, it kind of looks like many heads of different dragons that are swirled around with kind of a scale design on this band. It's a pretty well made ring. It's probably made out of gold, as it's wrapped around gold and silver mixed, even maybe, as they're braided to make it look like several serpentine dragons wrapped around one another with multiple heads, and it is worth 15 gold pieces. So he does have that on him.
In a fit of terrible judgment, I hand it all to the rogue for safekeeping.
Nice.
Interesting that whoever killed this man not care about the money.
Ah, they left all of us. This is even hard to find.
That
Right, the
is
rock banging noises.
Quite strange. No?
Alejandro, are you kind of taking steps closer to the sound to investigate? I know a couple of you
Take out my
mentioned it, but
crossbow and load it, and then I'm going to approach closer to the sounds.
okay. Feel free. You guys should be able to go ahead and move your tokens. If not, let me know, and I'll make sure that you can. But go ahead and place yourselves wherever you would like. As you make your way around the corner, any of you guys can obviously see this. It should stand out pretty easily to you. You would see at least one decayed skeletal figure that is standing bipedal, walking upright and shambling around. You would now, you see at very least one, two if you're paying attention. You would also see the body right here of yet another cultist that is laying on the ground with its head removed from the body, and this skeleton is currently sitting there kind of just clawing at it, pulling off strands of meat is the best to be described, almost as if it was like a zombie-esque eating at it, but it doesn't even seem to care about eating it. It's just pulling it off slowly and methodically. Among that, you see an individual standing right here wearing a different set of robes. So these are more of a red robe with skulls that are tied on and used as fasteners at each collar point. And as he is standing there, what you see is that he has the human skull devoid of flesh, and across the top of this rock, he is smashing and grinding it into into dust. The flesh and blood has been removed, so he is just grinding the actual skull across the rock and occasionally smashing at it to break pieces off. And you see him collecting and scooping pieces of the skull powder, for a lack of better word, and he is applying it to a wax skull that is in their hand in some sort of a ritualistic fashion, and almost rubbing it across the outside to make this wax skull look more realistic. But that he is slowly adding this dust as he grinds it away. He'll take the handfuls and starts pouring it over it. You see that several candles are lit. It does seem that he is performing some means of ritual. This skeleton, by the way, is just currently standing by with a dumb look on its face, as if it was completely, it doesn't have an actual face. So it's more or less expressionless, as it's just standing there watching as this man grinds this skull to dust.
Can
All right.
I hide and cut through the bushes? Like, is there
You-
enough space for me to do that?
Oh yeah, you can absolutely do that. But if you're going to try and do it stealthily, I'm going to need you to make a stealth check. This way you can quietly move through those bushes. It's not too thick to move through, and it may give you some camouflage as far as that goes. But yeah, if you want to try and keep yourself quiet, I would need a stealth check.
Okay.
They could throw this up here for Rhea as well. She takes position and hides behind this log while she's at it.
I'd at least like to get close then if I'm risking it.
Oh, absolutely, man. You can get as close as you want. You feel like you are the stealthiest as far as that goes. You know, as
Well,
soon
that
as
was
you
neat.
move into this, it's just enough wiggle room for you to get through. It seems like the ground condition, somebody's already moved all the sticks out of the way. It's like there's nothing for you to even worry about stepping on. It's pretty soft moss, so it's the conditions are perfect for you to move through here quietly without causing any attention.
So we're gonna beat the tar out of these guys, right?
It's up to you guys. You tell me.
I'm communicating over hand signals right now, or bird sounds.
I'm gonna say you'd be hard to see. You might want to get, kind of give them a, this is where I'm going in, and then make your communication known. Because once you get in there, you disappear. As far as that
Okay.
goes.
So yeah, I guess before I get in there, I'd whisper over to the other guys. I'll approach from the rear, wait for someone to make the call to attack, and stab the biggest one in the back.
I nod.
Can I try something? Can I try something? I'd like to try to charm the cultist.
I don't know if he's your type.
Uh, maybe he won't be my type, but I still would like to try.
That
You
or if
know,
you'd like. Oh, go ahead.
you go for it. You do what you do. Uh, if it goes bad, I'll be in bush. I jump out, I stab, and we have a good time.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Charm Person on the cultist in the red.
Okay, so
I'm
just
gonna-
real quick, let me go around to everybody. You're planning to cast Charm Person. Numo is in the bushes, prepared to leap out at one of them at your quickest convenience. What about you, Maxwell? What are your intentions?
I'm going to stick next to our bard, and if the situation goes, we'll say suboptimal in terms of violence against our bard, I'm going to cast magic at them.
Okay,
What that magic will be will depend upon how bad the situation's going.
Fair enough. And Vanro, what's your kind of intention?
Can I kind of? Okay, I was gonna say if I could squeeze past there, so if I could if I need to run in,
Yeah, no problem.
given that
You can always move through
So-
your allies, so there's no
Oh,
worries
okay.
there.
Yeah,
like right there. And
I'm like
was that
two-
a sort of? Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm like 2 feet tall and about 25 pounds soaking wet,
just
so you
step
can just
over
like
you, yeah.
shoulder past.
I sort of whisper over to Alejandro. Was like, if it doesn't work, I can command him to. I could try to command him to approach
Okay.
or halt, I can make him stop or fall on the floor. Any.
Gotcha.
Actually.
So it's you can you it sounds to me like you guys have a series of fallback plans if necessary.
Right.
As far as that goes, but Alejandro taking the lead. Araya would look at you and say, I will keep watch. If you can't handle skeleton, you deserve to die here. And she kind of just starts watching the other way and playing scout for you further down the road. So she is kind of letting you guys have the lead on this as far as that goes. I don't want to keep bringing an NPC and stealing your thunder, so let you have this at this point. So Alejandro, let's go ahead and roll initiative. You know what? Actually, yeah, no. Skeletons are skeletons. Let's go ahead and roll initiative, but we'll take a surprise round with Alejandro at the lead anyway. Make sure to select your token. This way, it puts you in the thing as far as that goes. And I forgot to start the combat encounter. I should have done that. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. Let's see. Maxwell rolled a 13.
Did I?
That's what I see, right?
Oh yeah, I
I
think
like
so.
one roll. Okay.
Yeah, I got Maxwell from Maxwell 13. Van Roll 16. Alejandro 6.
6.
Numo 12. For some reason it added half of you guys to the initiative, but it didn't do it for everybody, so I was just making sure I had everyone. Maxwell 13. Yeah, I was gonna say make sure to always select your tokens on VTT.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of those things. If you don't have it like highlighted for some reason, doesn't work. I don't never understood that to save my life, but there we go. It's got you all in there. It might just be the way it imported over. Oh, good. Roll these. All right. So as far as I go, I have Vanril at the top of initiative to begin with. But let's go ahead and do Alejandro. So this will be kind of a surprise round. At this point, all of these guys are completely unaware of your presence. They were very distracted, paying total attention to what they were doing. The zombies, or not zombies, the skeletons aren't paying any attention. So you have the surprise as far as this goes. So I'll let you take this I'll let you take this first round as you guys want to. So yeah,
So
Alejandro, what would you like to do?
I cast Charm Person on the guy in red.
Okay.
And it's a Wisdom difficulty 12.
Okay. So you're casting Wisdom saving throw. And as far as that goes, does he need to just be able to hear you or any of that stuff? Oh, goodness.
Well, he's within the range of the spell, which is 30 feet.
Right. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember the exact details on that spell. Let's see. Charm person. Yeah, as long as you can see it and it's within range. Must make a wisdom saving throw and does so with advantage. If you or your companions are fighting it, it's not. But I will say, unfortunately, he rolled a natural 20. So yeah, my first roll of the game kicks ass tonight, guys. So
Well.
right off the bat, you begin casting out this, maybe, string of flowery words or melodic words that would typically catch someone, enthralled by the sound of your music and charming them. But in this case, it does not seem to have the intended goal. As he looks up, you almost see kind of a shrug of like him shaking something, cobwebs from his mind, and then immediately starts looking in the direction of which it came from. So what did everyone else want to do? I believe that Numero was wanting to stab. We got Maxwell that was going to try, but also you said you were going to try a secondary command, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
go right ahead.
I was a cast command at him, which is a Wisdom save 12, and I say the word is grovel. So the target falls prone and it ends its turn.
Okay. Command. And you speak a one-word command to a creature you can see within range. Same thing. Another wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. So let's go ahead and give this guy another save. This guy's getting all the brain stuff, and he's not even that great at it. I'll be honest. He's got +0 on the roll. I just rolled really good on that first one.
Yeah.
Okay. So as he kind of looks up, and you see him shaking it off, as he's kind of distracted from the first attempt to charm him, the second one comes in as Vandril steps around, just pointing with a grovel. And immediately you see him drop to his knees, holding the skull out, and almost does so in sort of a prostrating way. And he immediately puts himself to the ground. So grovel specifically has them go prone. I'm trying to remember what the command is exactly on that one. I'm pulling it up now.
It's right there.
Grovel, the target falls prone and then ends its turn. Immediately he falls to the ground and ends his turn. Maxwell and Numo, you still have actions left? What would you...
Can I use my movement to go a little bit ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. You and Alejandro still have movement if you want to use it, by the way.
25.
I'm staying where I am because I have the crossbow out.
Also, if you have any bonus actions, sorry, I was just kind of keeping it rolling, but yeah, if you have any bonus actions or anything you need to take, you're welcome to do so. But yeah, I'm just trying to make sure to get the core actions there. Maxwell,
I just want to get up in front.
You see that the initial spell didn't take hold, but this command of groveling did. However, it's caused a bit of an issue with what you had intended. Him being on the other side of that stone altar or rock that he was using as a stone altar, he is now behind that. And I will give him 3/4 cover. You can still see part of him. You know what I mean? As he did just kind of go down to a prayer position, you could still see his head, but he is a little bit harder to hit as far as that goes. I won't make him completely, impossible to see, but if you know prone at ranged is at disadvantage. So just kind of part of
Fortunately,
the issue there.
fortunately, I'm not making an attack roll. So I'm going to
Okay.
scrutinize the situation for a bit. And then I'm going to fish around in my belt and pull out a handful of my Special Artificer Custom Edition Bag of Glitter Bomb. And I'm going to cast Artificer version of Fairy Fire. Centered
Nice.
right here.
Awesome. Okay. What's the radius on it? 10 foot?
Radius on Fairy Fire it's a 20-foot cube.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you can hit everything in this cube. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. You can get all 3 of these guys if you want.
I hit all of them. They all have to pass a Dexterity saving throw, DC 13.
Dex save. Okay. Let's see. Our main cultist, of course, immediately fails it. He would have had disadvantage on this anyway, being charmed like that. And the 2 skeletons actually both pass.
Wow!
Surprisingly,
Bastards.
yeah, they rolled really good. It's so as
Okay.
well as this guy just gets completely covered in this sparkling, glistening magical dust that coats just all over his robes. It sticks to cloth really well. Doesn't stick to bone as well. It just kind of scatters off of them and doesn't seem to have any substance to stick to on them. Numo,
Well-
you seeing this explosion though, have your turn coming up next, so keep that in mind. Sorry, go ahead. You had something else to say there, Max?
No, I was just going to let Numo know you now have advantage on attack rolls against him, which means you should be able to get sneak attack off without any of us near him.
Absolutely.
Even also on top of him also being prone, which is
Mhm.
Look, I wasn't
He's-
sure if this was going to work.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it worked.
But yeah, I can't believe the skeletons rolled so well. I rolled a what is that? Well, I mean, with their modifier, I end up with a 19 and an 18.
He just-
Crazy.
I was just on the floor, groveling and covered in glitter.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah. On the floor.
going to send him to the afterlife embarrassed.
Yeah.
How did you die? Face down, ass up, covered in glitter.
I always knew it would go this way. This is always how I knew I would die. That's great. But yeah, Numo,
Well,
He's
you're
the
up,
one store
man.
the tell.
What would you like to
We
do?
said I'd take out the biggest one. Now this big guy not seem so big, but I guess I stab anyway. I sneak up and cover Glitter Man, stab him with dagger.
Okay. Yeah,
Actually, I'm gonna do short sword.
gotcha, man. Yeah, feel free to make an attack roll, and you absolutely do have advantage on the attack roll, so you would get your sneak attack and everything on this. Nice. Natural 20.
Yes.
Yeah. This guy is not long for this world, I would imagine. Let me take a look here. All right, so right off the bat, 6 piercing damage, +5 for your sneak attack. Believe it or not, he is still alive. But I'm assuming that is
Do I
just
get
your.
crit? Or
Oh yeah, well it didn't do the critical damage. That is strange. So we would actually be adding, let's see, dagger is
sword,
1d4
critical
plus.
on there.
Yes. So go ahead and just roll an extra d4. Yeah. Yeah, because that 1d6 plus 2.
Oh,
That should have been 8
4.
plus 5. That's 18 plus 4. All right, there we go. That's 20 or sorry, 15, 17 total points of damage. If I got my math right with the critical. I don't know why I didn't auto roll crit for you there. Should have.
Yeah, I thought I had it on the extension, but I can check again.
Yeah, it might just be a thing or whatever. But yeah, absolutely, man. So 17 points of damage. How do you cut this guy down, man? He is immediately dead. He starts glistening like the sun, you know, with this little sparkle of twinkles, and he just drops immediately. So
I think like since he's already groveling on the ground covered in glitter, I just kind of like put one hand on the back of his neck and I take my dagger and I just like starts going all the way down his back
oh
and
god.
just
Oh.
cut him open.
Yeah, immediately from one side of the upper shoulder blade to the lower side by the kidney, you cut this man wide open. No question. Just you know what I
He
mean?
really did die face down. That's so covered in glitter.
He absolutely did. Yeah. Quickly. Yeah, that was a great roll. Yeah, nice. I like the natural 20s out in chat. Sweet. I forgot about
Not
those.
much inside.
That's good stuff. Sweet. Well, that was a quick round as far as that guy goes, but the skeletons, however, are still alive, surprisingly. It doesn't, even though they may have been enthralled by him, they are their own entity. So as this round ends, you do immediately see that as this guy dies, and you're like, hey, cool, I got one. You know what I mean? The two skeletons immediately turn and pay attention to you, Numerous, being kind of the closest in on this, you know, to the person. But they kind of turn with a as they look it slowly in your direction. It is back to the top of the round though, since that was surprise. Let's see, who do we start this combat with? I believe it is Vanril would get first attack on this. Yeah.
He sees it happen, he looks back. He's like, if he's killing cultists, maybe we should have. Nah.
He's
And then
he's sculpting skulls.
yeah. Then he's was it? He goes 5. He runs over to this skeleton down here, you know, having his sword and shield already, you know, ready, and he attempts to take a swing at this skeleton right here using my divine smite with it. So let's see if let's roll for attack here. Maybe a 12.
Nice. This is against the skeleton.
Skeleton.
12 is not enough to hit. Believe
Yeah.
it or not, these guys are just a little bit hardier than that. I'd say what happens is that as you go to take that shot, you just can't find the place where you're actually catching enough substance. It's, you know what I mean? Like you go to stab, but it just kind of goes between a couple of ribs there. You know what I mean? There's not enough meat to really grab a hold of here on this guy as you kind of cut through the area. But yeah, the skeleton kind of takes a look at you and kind of sidesteps your attack and kind of just looks right in your face as the sword comes through.
Shit.
Yeah. It's the one good sound effect I can make. I can do a good skeleton or zombie. So let's see here. Anything else that you would like to do on your turn? Any bonus actions or any of that?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay, Maxwell. That would put it back up to you then, as the next in initiative.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that firing a crossbow bolt to these guys is probably not the most productive endeavor one could think of.
I mean, that's one of those things, you know what I mean? 5e mechanics, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, in lieu of knowing skeleton details, I'm just going to roll with IC of I don't think firing an arrow at these guys will work. So I'm going to take my trusty hand axe, that's probably almost as tall as I am, go sprinting. I cannot drag the token if I'm looking at the stream. Go sprinting straight at this guy in an alarming display of non-pattern recognition, and I'm going to take a swing at him with the axe.
All right, absolutely.
As soon as I can find the button to roll that. It's over on this side.
Let's see what we got here. So that is going to be a 13. So remember how that 12 missed?
Yep, it was
13 is a hit.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
It is. Yeah, 13 was the magic number apparently. So yeah, you do happen to catch this guy with your axe as you come crashing down into it. It kind of had its, distraction. It had its back turned on Numerous, so you get your opportunity to come down into this skeleton. What would you
And
like?
as I
Or what type
slash out of my
damage you get?
scream, get on my chopper.
Get on my chopper. That's great. Let's see here. So that was Maxwell. Let me make sure I got the right skeleton here. That's this guy. Okay. So that's 2 points of damage, correct?
Si, senor.
Right.
Slashing.
2 points of slashing damage. Absolutely. So yeah, it's not a hardy cut, you know what I mean? You come down across it, but you realize that, the axe kind of drags across the bone, but there's just not enough to cut. But it does definitely do some damage. You hear this thing, kind of as it gets struck and turns around on you. He's now definitely as he turns and looks you right in the face, like it's intimidating as the head turns almost a full 360, then the body rotates to match, you know what I mean, and then kind of turns on you, and you see that he's definitely caught you've definitely caught his attention. Let's see if there's no other actions. Next up would be the skeleton that is over here next to Vanril. And he will produce a short sword that he was kind of lazily just holding at first, but now raises up and tries to make an attack roll on you with it. Holy shit, my rolls are on fire tonight. That is a 23 versus armor class, sir.
Yeah, that definitely does hit.
All right, well, that will only hit for 4 points of piercing damage, but definitely a solid hit. Yeah, he just immediately kind of comes up. He doesn't even raise it or swing it, but just more or less tries to bring it up into you as he pulls up rib shot, and it comes up into your stomach and gets you right around the rib cage. You definitely feel the tip dagger into your stomach. Let's see.
I have chainmail. Oh, fuck.
I do believe that's all that they can do on their turn. So yeah, he looks rather satisfied with himself as the jaw kind of clatters open, and you almost kind of hear a little bit of a as he's trying to laugh.
Yep, I deserve that one.
Right. Numo, you just cut this one guy down, but immediately see that there is now, of course, these two skeletons that are still active, and your friends are rushing in to help. But what would you like to do as far as the your turn?
Oh, we just got that one cultist down. He died easy. I guess I go. Oh, which friend do I help? The new guy who looks so cool, or I think I got the help of a fellow gnome out. So
Thank you.
I stabbed this one in the back.
Okay,
Now that he just turned his back on me.
gotcha.
The
Yeah.
fool.
Yeah, you definitely come up behind this guy. So is this one of those situations where technically you should have flanking, but there isn't really flanking? But yeah, either way, you got the roll for it. I was going to throw it out there that it's not an advantage, but you do get sneak attack because of the ally situation, but go for it. Yeah, you definitely hit with a 22. We'll have to discuss that after the game if you guys want to use flanking. I don't mind those rules, you know what I mean? But it's kind of weird. We'll talk about it after the game instead of now, but if you guys want it, we can always use it. I like outnumber more than flank, but oh shit, there we go. That is another 13 points of piercing damage. Holy shit, man, you're on it tonight. Gotta love the rogue.
That's piercing?
Yeah, 13 short swords are piercing, right?
Short swords are piercing,
Okay.
scimitars
Do
are
they
slashing.
have resistance to that then?
Do they?
You wouldn't know. Maybe they do, maybe
Okay.
they don't. I will give it that much. Let me see, which one am I looking at here? Make
I was
sure
like,
I
why
got
do
the-
you-
I'm
why do you
fine.
think
I
I
would
rolled the
know,
axe?
but the one thing you know for sure, as you kind of run your sword up into this skeletal mass, or whatever, you are able to get it in just the proper position to kind of use it as a fulcrum and break through bones. So you kind of run it through the rib cage and turn it in just such a way that they start snapping. And the bones split at the spine versus rib cage, and this thing clatters to the ground. It seems to lose all of its form, and the bones just collapse in a pile of, pile of bone and whatever left of meat and clothing was left on them. This one is dead as well.
I help.
I helped.
For sure.
Bonking 2 damage away with an axe. I'm like, I participated.
Yeah, but that guy definitely goes down rather quickly as far as that goes. And
So I
you got a
cut that
bonus
one. I do
action?
have a bonus action, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, see, they died just like that. And this one here, have a knife, and I just throw a dagger at it. At the
Sweet.
other. I could do 2 targets with 2 weapons.
You absolutely can. If you had the movement, you can actually stab one, then walk to the other and stab it too, as long as you have the movement, or you can throw it. It's gonna be the same attack roll for you either way.
I
Jesus,
gotta
dude.
show off a bit.
You are showing off with that 20.
Jeez.
That's 3 22s in 4 rolls. You rolled 3 22s and a 19.
Yeah, whatever that extension I'm using is, that setting is
Right?
really good, I guess.
I like D&D Beyond's rolls sometimes, man. They're good.
Huh.
Let's see, 6 points of damage on this guy. So yeah, much the same. So with this one, you throw the dagger, and the best place where there's the most amount of mass and meat to stick to his head and shoulder, as he almost has like this fur on that's kind of rotting, but enough for it to maybe stick to, and you end up catching it kind of right in the neck shoulder area, and you see it just stab in and thunk stick as it's caught some sort of mass there. And this does what was it, 6 points of damage to it. So let's see, that's this one here. Yeah, it would seem that these daggers and short swords are doing as much damage as they would on a normal person. So let's see. So that should be the end of it for Numo, right? That's your movement, your action, bonus action, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's everything I can do.
Alejandro.
For now.
You, being in the position that you are in, still back there at the edge, can see a couple of different things from your location. So where you're standing, not only do you see that this one skeleton, they've cut down one skeleton and the cultist, and the one is still remaining, but you look over and see Freya have a little look of concern on her face and gives you a look with like the hey, look over there type thing, and points in this direction. Let me do it that way. As you do take a look over there, you now see something that you couldn't catch before, but there is one cultist standing there as well that you can see that's just walked around to the backside of this stone altar, and he seems to be doing something on the altar. It's still a little bit further, far away and almost at a raised position. That little mound in the center is slightly higher than where you're at, so it's hard to tell what he's doing exactly, but he's like leaned over. He almost looks like a doctor leaned over an operating table working on something.
How much
but he doesn't seem to notice you.
How much cover does he have?
I would have to give him half cover because he's behind the stone, so it's like +2 to his AC. He's not like super concealed or anything, but he doesn't seem to notice you. She kind of gives you the look like, look, but be quiet. He hasn't seemed to take a notice of your party yet, but she did want to make sure you saw it.
All right, I'm going to move. Second.
No worries.
Right up to like where that tree is. And I should
Okay.
have that's like my complete move. I should have a better shot.
Cool. Are you planning on stealthing across or just running for it?
I'm just gonna go.
Okay.
Move my
Cool.
full movement. And I'm gonna take a shot with my crossbow at the cultist that's working on the altar.
Awesome. As you get over to that position, you can actually see a little bit better now that you're a little bit closer. As you look, you see that he does have another one of these cultists. So, like, again, this one is wearing the red robes. Laying on the altar is the ones in the black robes, similar to what you had brought. You see one of the masks is lying on the altar, and this guy is currently wriggling while tied, trying to get away as this other cultist is raising a rather large Chris dagger, getting ready to stab him with it. They seem to be performing their rituals right here in front of you. You just happen to walk in at the perfect moment, but it seems that one group of cultists is using the others as sacrifice. But yeah, go ahead and feel free to roll up your attack roll as far as that goes. Just wanted to make sure to give you all the deets on that one.
That's a miss. Rolled an 8.
Tell you what, give me 1 second, actually. I need to make a roll really quickly for this guy. I will just use these stats. That makes sense. Go ahead and roll that with advantage. He has no idea that you're there. You guys kind of had the moment, a moment of opportunity. He was unaware of your presence, so you should have had advantage on that roll. I should have said something.
Second shot was a 22, or the second roll was a 22.
Okay, so yeah, okay. In that case, yeah, your attack would hit in that. Yeah, because he is 100% focused on what he's doing here. He seems to be paying attention to this guy on the altar, so he didn't know that you were there. 8 points of damage. Nice. Go ahead and mark that down so I remember that, because that was not part of this combat. Had him separated by area. Cool. So yeah, as this guy's kind of raising the dagger, making some sort of chant and ritual, cry to whatever deity, dark deity he worships. As he raises up with the dagger, you take the opportunity and you put a bolt directly in his chest. You don't think it's a heart shot, but you can absolutely hear that gasping sound as a lung has just been penetrated. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a gurgle real quick for sure. Yeah, you hit the guy. Is there anything else that you want to do on your turn? You got any bonus stuff or?
Nah.
All right. Well, either way, nice shot.
I'll reload the crossbow if I can.
He is aware of you. Yeah, he definitely lets out a "Ugh!" as you, get him really well, but at the same time, you also see the man on the slab start wriggling twice as fast. Like, shit, maybe I get out of here. You know what I mean? And starts trying to break himself free of his binds. Let's go back. I believe after that we have Van Roll back at the top of the initiative order.
Van Roll takes a look over. Kind of looks over his corner of his eye, sees was it Numo just finish off the other skeleton and see the dagger and playing the ones like he looks over and just goes, I think I judged you too harshly before taking a swing before taking a swing at the other skeleton.
Nice. I want to take a second real quick. Flurry of that. Thank you so much for the gift sub. Super appreciate that. We love you.
Oh yay.
Fleur's the best. She's my fave.
That'd be a 23 to hit.
Thank you very, very much. Let's see. So you said 23 to hit. Jesus, look at you guys go. Yeah, absolutely, man. That is a solid hit. This is on the skeleton, correct?
Yeah, with being a skeleton, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it. I'm going to use Divine Smite on it just to smite it.
Just to make sure that this roll does some damage.
Hell
yeah. Congratulations, by the way, Jawway100 for getting your gifts up, man. That's awesome. Appreciate you guys.
That will be 7 points of 8 points of slashing plus the 2d8 radiant, which is another 15 points.
Jesus, man.
Divine Smite.
Woo. How many of those do you get? That thing is potent. Let's see. So either way, I think it's the part I like is it says the one-handed damage is 8, the two-handed damage is 3. You know, it just goes to show you never know how these things roll out. But yeah, that would be 23 points of damage. You explode the skeleton. When you strike down into it with this longsword, like not only does it connect very solid, but at the moment that it does, this flash of brilliant white light erupts from the tip of the blade and just sends bones scattering. You actually see one like embed itself in a tree behind you. Numo, you're just thinking, well, I'm glad I didn't walk over there. You know what I mean? Like, the bones just scatter out from this thing and it is completely desiccated. Like it's just completely gone. But yeah, absolutely. These enemies seem to be downed in this area as far as that goes.
I love a good smite.
I love a good smite.
As he starts to make his way back.
Smells like dry roasting.
Good night to all, and to all a good smite. We're back to the Santa comments.
Yes. He's just gonna be Santa Claus the entire time.
Paladin Santa.
Paladin Santa.
Paladin Santa.
To all a good smite. Awesome. I will go ahead and leave in initiative though. As far as that goes, or at least make note of these initiative numbers, because your ally behind you has just started a different combat of its own. But as soon as that guy drops, you would actually hear a whistle come in, and turning around to look at Freya, she kind of does the same to you guys and does the, hey, look, you know, 2 guys in a bush over there, you know what I mean? And kind of points in the direction that Alejandro had just ran, you know, signaling that there's someone over there and something is taking place. And you see her actually disappear. As soon as she gives you the signal and knows that you see it, you see her disappear that direction through the bushes, trying to get a better vantage point. What would you guys like to do, just out of curiosity? Because depending on what you do is, you know, how we can kind of proceed with this.
I've already made my way back up.
Gotcha. Well, it's fine. It's kind of weird because, like, you guys are half out of initiative, half in initiative. Like, these guys aren't aware you're there. This is like that moment on Baldur's Gate where half your party's in initiative and the other guy's still pickpocketing in the background. That's what you guys got going on. So I'll let you make some movement if you want it. As far
Middle
as that
conversation,
goes.
just places a bunch of barrels around them. Boom.
Somebody stacking crates to get that advantage.
All right. I'm going to run out valiantly into the open, take one look at this cultist, and I'm going to aim for the other lung.
Okay, so you guys are heading that way as far as to get some work done on this guy. Let me go ahead and switch this out here. Let me make a quick note of your initiatives. I made the mistake of sectioning this out, and I should have just made it one big combat so where I didn't have to re-roll anything. But let's do this. Alejandro, Maxwell, Numo, Vanril. 16. Max is 13. Numo is 12. Alejandro is 6. Okay. Bear with me just 1 second while I end this combat. Start the next. Yeah, but you guys made short work of that guy. That's for damn sure, man. Let's see here. Sorry, bear with me for just a second. I'm gonna do a little bit of quick editing. It's funny because I was like, yeah, I got all these things put in. They're nice and neat. You know what I mean? As far as that goes, like I had the combats already ready. I was like, I won't have to do anything on the fly. And then the way you guys approached it, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, maybe. Never mind.
Remember, no
Never
plan ever
prepared.
survives first contact with your players.
Exactly.
Especially when you have an artificer.
Yeah. There's all kinds of fun in here. I apologize. I just want to make sure I've got all the combatants in the right place.
Wait, what do you mean all the combatants?
Right? Wait,
Like,
wait,
hang
what?
on. Hold up.
With an S.
Damn. I got to make sure I got everybody here. There's not as many. There's not that many,
What?
but I know that there's at least one other that I'm forgetting about. Is what I'm concerned about here. Okay, I
Sorry,
see what
guys,
I was
gotta
doing.
finish
Oh,
populating
there
the
he
nest.
is. There he jumps out of a bush behind Alejandro.
Right, that's it.
Yeah, that's not funny.
Snipe right there.
Guy in red robes jumps out, screams, "Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition," and then sticks a knife in Alejandro.
That's it. Okay. Got it. Got it. Shit. Yeah, I should have put all these
2
together the
hours
first
later.
time. All right, nice. 2 hours later, I heard that come in. Who was that, Clark? Ass. Let's see. 6, 13, 12, and 16. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back at it. So you guys can go ahead and take your movement as far as that goes. If you want to go ahead and get a free move to make your way back that way, those of you that were down dealing with those initial cultists. Numo, are you taking through the woods on this one, or are you going to try and head back up the path? I didn't know if you were going to try and stick with your original stealth option.
So I get in.
I'm giving you guys a little bit of a free movement there, but as far as the initiative, I want to make sure to keep an initiative since it is, it's not a full surprise round because this guy's obviously aware you're there. He took a knife to the chest, but I will give you the free movement. This way we don't have to spend 2 rounds waiting for you to walk there. You know what I mean? Let's see. But yeah, if you want to head back through the woods that way, feel free to go ahead and give me another stealth roll while you're at it then.
Probably running through there. Sure.
That's a 6 and a 24. That's a big difference. Holy shit. What's your modifier, by the way? +4 on stealth.
+4.
When do you get double proficiency? Did you not take double proficiency on your stealth? What's the matter with you?
I think I had to get like proficiency in performance for character or something like that.
I will say, because I know
I needed at least a little in it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I remember rogues get like 1 that their double was expertise and 1. I think they get that every couple levels. They get double proficiency in one of them, so it makes you really like skilled at a couple of things. But yeah, you guys are still level 1, still pretty early for all that. I wasn't sure if that was a thing you got yet or not. All right, so yeah, you guys make your way up through there. You start stealthing through. You don't feel as stealthy on this side. I won't lie. There's kind of a couple of sticks and twigs that kind of get in your way. You hear a couple of cracks under your foot. You're not sure you're as well hidden, but this guy did take an arrow to the chest, so he's a little distracted at the moment. Let's go ahead and get back to the top of combat, though. So on this side, you guys begin hearing a couple of different things at this point. So that guy at the top of the altar is going to let out a scream of "Fools! Mutineers! Kill them!" As he kind of points in your general direction. You're like, who the fuck are you talking to? But as soon as he does, you guys do begin to hear the sounds of several others rummaging through the bushes, as if there were others in the area that maybe weren't quite seen yet. And you actually would also hear a splash kind of coming from this direction, as somebody is maybe coming up through the stream as well. Let's see here. What is his actual? I'm trying to think of what he would do. I think he's going to try and take a mace to the guy that's still on the altar. So he had a dagger out in one hand. I guess he just might as well use that. Let's just do that. I'll use.
Wait, is it back to the top, right?
It is back to the top of it. So I kind of re-rolled it as new initiative. This guy had slightly higher than you.
Okay, I was making sure. I was just looking at the right over there.
Yeah, everybody else is still in there, but yeah, this guy beat you as far as initiative goes. Let me see if I can fix it for you guys. There, maybe now it shows it.
There we go. Maybe.
Yeah, it's got it top there with Fist of Bane.
Yeah.
All right. I hate that it shows names. I gotta get it to quit doing that. Anywho, this guy rolls a 17. Actually, he would have rolled with advantage. But yeah, so 17 against the tied up guy on the altar. He definitely stabs this dude for a d4 worth of damage. We'll do this, -2. So he hits him for 6 points of damage. You see him plunge the dagger in this guy's chest, and he starts squirming and screaming while gagged. You hear the as he's, in immense pain, but bound and gagged. There's not much that he can do, but he does plunge the dagger down, and you do see a little bit of, blood start to run off of this giant rock slab, as, the guy is definitely taking a heavy wound. At that point, I think, what does he have? Hey, sweet. I saw something come in from Ko-Fi. Give me 1 second. I'll make sure to check that. Cool. I gotta remind myself how to remember how that works. Let's see. There we go. Oh, shit. All right. Give me a second. I got you. I see what we got here. All right, can do.
Oh no.
Let's see.
I know. I'm like,
can do.
uh-oh.
At this point, this guy plunges the dagger down in, and you begin hearing him screaming some sort of ritualistic chant, and that's it. So he starts, screaming a ritual, chant and praising some dark god. But most of it's in a tongue that Happy wouldn't understand anyway. Vanroll, you are up next in initiative.
Could have saved my
awesome.
smite.
Thank
So,
you very much.
These rocks right in front of me, are those able to go across, or? Because I remember you said this platform was a bit raised.
So as far as when I say raised, it's like 3 foot taller. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not tremendous. It's just like between that 2 or 3 foot difference and the stone slab, it was just kind of hard to see what was on top of the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you can skip across those rocks right there. That seems like the way that he probably got up there. You know what I mean? On either side, and you can get right up to it. No issues. I don't know who our Ko-Fi supporter was. It just says Ko-Fi supporter. I guess you kept it anonymous, but thank you so much for contributing. I will make sure to throw something very fun in there for you.
Oh no.
So I run into the top side of the altar, try to get keep myself from where I heard the splashes from the south, and I'm going to take a swing at the cultist here.
All right, cool.
Oh well, no, yeah, that's a 7.
7 is definitely not going to be enough to hit on this guy.
No.
Even though he's kind of still in the midst of his ritual, he's quick. He's an agile cultist. This dude leaps out of the way like a bunny. You know what I mean? He's just like, whoop, nope, screaming into the darkness. But yeah. Is there any other bonus action attacks that you would like to do or anything like that?
No, I don't got none.
Remember, flipping them off is a free action.
It's interacting
There
with
you
an
go.
object.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's all I got. He runs there, tries to swing at him, misses, he goes, fuck.
Well, shit.
Yeah, well, that didn't go
Um,
for plan.
Absolutely. All right. So in that case, let's see who's up next. I got way too many tabs open here. There is another character that you do hear start making their way out of up this stream here as well. So let me go ahead and move over to GM layer. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, and I think they can only probably get to like right here at the edge, but we'll go ahead and bring them to the token layer. Right there you go. So this character here makes his way out, and he's going to try and take a shot, even though he doesn't have the best of range or line of sight on anyone. He is going to try and, or sorry, she is going to try and make an attack.
Against?
That is a very good question. I think it's going to be Vanril. It's the only person that's even close enough. 10,
Oh no.
15,
Come on, bring it.
5, 10. Let's use the measure tool here and make this easy on me. 25. So you're actually just out of range for her to really be able to do this. All she has is a dagger, so she's going to make a disadvantaged attack. Hey! Let's see.
Hey.
Tide Pool of Dreams, thank you for the raid. Super appreciate it. We are right in the middle of a combat. I want to thank you guys for coming in, and then I'm going to dive right back into getting combat. This way I make sure to keep killing my players real quick, but stick around. Hopefully you guys enjoy the stream. It's about to get real. So yeah, she goes ahead and makes an attack with a dagger. She just kind of throws a dagger in your direction. It clatters helplessly off the rocks. Doesn't even come close. And you hear her kind of curse under her breath at that point. But that would be their attack as far as that goes. Let me just make sure I got the right one.
Oh.
So that was under 14. I think I had these listed wrong, but either way, it's fine. All right, so that is their attack. Maxwell, you are up next.
All right. Well, I'm going to contribute to the littering problem by adding another crossbow bolt into Zifre, firing at the cultist who's currently trying to stab our, really hesitate to say ally, fellow man not wanting to get stabbed by these folk.
All right, that is a 10, so probably not going to be enough
Yeah, I was
to
gonna say, I'm
quite
not.
cut it. Let's see. Sorry, we just got hit with all these fun things. Thank you guys for all the support tonight, by the way. Give a shout out to Tide Pool of Dreams. If you guys get a chance, definitely check out their stream. Thank you for the raid, man. Really appreciate it. So let me go ahead and get back at this. Yeah, with the crossbow shot, you take the shot, but unfortunately, just it's a little too wide. The wind catches it just the wrong way, and it slides just a little bit out of range. Is there any bonus actions or anything that you got left?
Not at this level, no.
All right, not a problem there. So you take your chance at it, but unfortunately not able to quite land the way you wanted it to. Let me go ahead and see here who is up next. And I got too many screens to work with. All right, Numo, you would be up next. You're coming out of the woods.
Mm-hmm. How aware would I be of this other person?
So you would have heard the person coming up the stream, as far as that goes, and you also hear some other rustling in the bushes over here and over here. But the biggest sound that you would hear, like you would barely hear those. You're not even sure if that's actually, a person or just a deer wandering through the woods, maybe. But you definitely hear the splashes as this person tried to trudge up the stream as fast as they could. It seems like they jumped in the water and came running to the aid of this person. So you're very aware of this one at least, and you can also see that one as well, of course.
Okay. And how far away? 35. If I reposition deeper into these bushes, can I use my action to hide again?
Let's see. So you were
I'm
kind of
just
already.
thinking like move 15 feet, try my hide again and see if I could be more stealth.
Oh, gotcha. I mean, as far as like things like that go, I'm trying to think how this would actually work. So you kind of already made your stealth when you came in, and you were having trouble initially keeping sound. But if you wanted to keep moving, I would have you roll stealth again just to see how well you get from here to here. You know what I mean? Kind of deal. At least at this point, you would probably assume they don't know you're there, just for the records, because they were way back here somewhere when you came trudging through there, so they probably didn't know that you were there, even if you had a bad or good stealth roll. It doesn't matter. Not. But as far as if you want to try and stealth upon them further, you're welcome to do so. Yeah.
And is this all rough terrain? The bushes?
No, it's just forest as far as that goes. You can move through it at regular speed. It's not restricting your movement. Even while stealthing, that's kind of the cool part about a rogue, is a rogue can stealth and move at regular speed, etc. So yeah, you can do your stealth thing to try and sneak over on them if you want to. At 30 feet, where were you originally? I think you were originally like here, right?
Just moved. Yeah, I
You
moved
you could
15
get
because I
you
wasn't
could
sure.
get right up next to him, you know what I mean, as far as that goes, if you wanted to, while still remaining stealth.
Huh. Okay. Then I guess if they're in
Yeah, it's only
range,
30. Yeah, it was only 30 feet, so.
I'll poke them with my sword.
Cool. So you
Uh,
come burst out of the bushes at him. Let's see. Go ahead and roll an attack roll. And like I said, they were not aware that you were there. So you can get your stealth bonus on this, as far as that goes. Let's see. 23. That'll
okay.
do the job. And you get
Yeah.
your sneak attack because you had advantage on the roll. Man, thank you guys for all stopping in. You guys are about to see some interesting stuff. If you check out our game, you'll see that the chat is able to add certain additions to our story. We just had a pretty big addition. So stick around for a second. You'll see something cool.
Poke them once for
Nice.
12.
Absolutely. Yeah, you come out, hit for 12 points of damage. Straight up, she's dead. You come up out
Okay.
of this so quick, and as you leap in, kind of pop out of the bushes and lurch at them, you stab her with a knife, and it cuts, right into the neck. Just you have this perfect moment where they don't know you're coming in. They're moving this, straight ahead. You come in from the side and rush them and drill the dagger directly into their neck, hit a main artery. You hear a bit of a scream let out as this person goes down. The rest of you guys would hear the scream and a big splash of water as both of these two go splashing down in this little stream here. It's not super deep, by the way, either. It's probably up to your, chest because you're a gnome. But it's not like a huge river or anything. But yeah, that character absolutely goes down. They don't have
And
a ton of defense as far as that goes.
for my bonus action, was that person still holding a knife? Like, were they
Um,
gonna throw another dagger or something? Or did
so,
they just have the one that they threw?
you know what? They probably would have had another one, as far as that goes. So if you are you trying to like rummage through their shit? I guess is what you're saying, to try and
I
retrieve another dagger.
I was just gonna try and make a throwing dagger attack on this person, but if I could use one of theirs as opposed to mine, if it was easy
Um,
to enough to grab.
I would
just
I
do that.
I would say that if you wanted to try and find a dagger on their person, I was going to let you do that as a bonus action, like to search them, because that would take a second. You know, God knows where they got it in their robes, right? You know, but
Fair enough.
yeah. So it's kind of a choice between if you want to make the bonus action attack and actually throw your dagger at the other guy, that would take your own dagger. Otherwise, you could search this character as a bonus action just to kind of pat them down and steal their dagger off of them. So yeah, you'd have to throw your
No
own in this
worries.
case.
I'll use my own. Just do a disadvantaged attack, and
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're throwing at this guy, it's just out of range, so it would be at disadvantage. But, oh, that's unfortunate as shit, man, too. It would have been a natural 20 on the other side, right? But
that's
yeah,
okay.
7, you go throwing the dagger, it goes up and over, and he just kind of watches it as it kind of trails over. He's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He might hear a little
It
bit of
is a
the
pretty hard shot.
yeah, the as it kind of flies over, but yeah, it definitely goes right over top of his head. As far as that goes.
It's trickier than it looks.
Right.
And that's the end of my turn.
Gotcha. So after that, you do hear, again, both you guys would hear this rustling kind of in the bushes that I had mentioned from all around you. If you bear with me here for just 1 second, I will. I remember where everybody's at now. They've been hidden in the bushes. You see a couple of things. So first off, here. You see a person coming out of the bushes here, Alejandro, next to you, that readies a attack at you. Then all of you would see a person run out of the bushes over here. They look frantic, scared shitless, look of absolute terror and dread on their face, and you just hear a as they take off running this direction. And immediately following behind them come bursting out of the trees. You see trees rocking, things moving like something large is chasing after it, and then all of a sudden you see this big guy come bursting out of the trees from behind, chasing after this cultist that had apparently drawn its attention. Whoever our Ko-Fi supporter was, you're welcome. There is now an owlbear that has burst onto the scene chasing after one of the cultists. I would just go ahead and go as far as to say, honestly, let me switch back to the right layer. As this guy comes running out and tries to run away, this owlbear just reaches out and snatches him up with one hand and more or less picks him up, slams him to the ground, and he goes limp. And just does that about 2 or 3 more times. He is being thrown around like a rag doll. So as the owlbear bursts out, grabs him by the head, just bam, 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 3 times on the ground, and he's a bag of mush at this point. He's a water balloon filled with salsa. That's what he. So he's not a problem anymore. But the owlbear is now a problem for everybody as it looks around, furious that it has been disturbed. Gotta love owlbears at level 2. Good luck.
Right.
Yeah, a sinister ally has arrived. Thank you for the $20 donation, by the way. I really appreciate that. That goes a long way. All right, guys. Let's see. Sorry, let me go ahead and cover. That was that Nightblade that came out. Trying to think. It's dead, so I'll just let it be. You know what I mean? I don't need to worry about what it's up to. Where were we at in initiative exactly? God, there's so many people. This is what screwed me up. So I threw that in there because I knew it was a possibility, but I wasn't going to add it. But as soon as we got that donation, I'm like, oh man, it's over now. I'm just going to throw in that one big extra in case it ever gets needed. Let's see. Okay, so we're on that in initiative. I'm still trying to learn how the initiative crosses over with this thing. All right, this one actually will go ahead and make a shot with Alejandro. It has probably enough movement, to be honest. Yeah, it's gonna come out and try and rush up on you, Alejandro, and make a dagger attack against you.
Okay.
Or sorry, mace attack. I apologize. It's wielding a mace. That is 11, so I'm assuming that's not going to hit your armor class.
That's a miss. I'm a 13.
Gotcha. You're easily able to sidestep this guy. He, as he came out of the bushes, he was, covered in sticks, half tripping over himself. Their balance was off. Their attack was wrong. You were easily able to step out of the way of this guy. Amateur, absolute amateur. But it is your turn if you'd like to retaliate.
All right. I draw my rapier, and I'm gonna take a swipe at this guy.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I can't ever do
Just
the
a good
owlbear
job.
call.
I do just about as good job at him as he did at me. I got a 7.
Damn, man. What is happening with your dice over there, brother? I'm gonna say you've got the best mods, I think, out of any of us. That's a +5 on that thing, you know what I mean? But all of a sudden you get these rolls that are just giving you hell, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a mix of back and forth. He comes at you so off balance that it throws you off balance in response, you know what I mean? But yeah, he tries to crack you with a mace, you try to gut him with a rapier. There's a little bit of a tit for tat there. But yeah, it doesn't seem like either person is gaining any ground, at least at this point. There it is. Let's see. Anything else that you need to do? Any movement or adjustments you need to make?
No.
Alrighty then. Well, in that case, we will move on. It would have been to this guy. He is dead. That means the owlbear is next.
No.
Yeah, where is he gonna turn? Ooh. So he's only got so much movement. How much movement does an owlbear have? I don't know a lot about owlbears. They get 40 feet of movement. They can get places.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Bears can run really fast in real life, like weirdly fast for what they look like.
Oh yeah. Bears are quick. I feel like it would be wrong to attack the halfling again. I think this owlbear is probably going to come up and try and get involved with this situation, to be honest. It's where the most action is taking place. It sees more people up there. It would be the likely, place for it to attack. So it's going to move up to here. And the funny thing is it steps down in the stream and comes up alongside this thing. It doesn't even have to climb on top. It just stands on its rear legs, and it is eye level with Vanril and this cultist. At this point, yeah, it's just able to meet you on eye level, and it is going to come up and make, let's see, speak one of those claws. It's going to make a beak and claw attack at each of you here. So let's see, beak is coming in for Vanril. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
Does not.
And a claw attack.
Wait.
Let's see, we'll speak one with its claws. That is a natural 1 on the other guy. So yeah, the cultist got lucky as well. So yeah, it's trying to still find purchase, but it's half kind of reaching up this slight incline where you're at. But it's trying to reach and bite and peck. This thing is terrifying. I mean, it's twice your size, Vanril. Massive in size as far as that goes, and trying to rip you apart. Even the cultist now looks at you with this look like, do you want to even continue this, or do we, you know what I mean?
Run?
Kind of deal. Meanwhile, the only thing that you can hear from the slab, the cultist that was bound and tied and gagged is now losing his shit. He is trying everything he can. He's rolling off the slab. Like, he's like, no, I'm out. You know what I mean? No,
Yeah.
no. Eat them, eat them. You know what I mean? So he's out. But luckily, round one, Owlbear didn't get to do too much damage. Back to the top of the round, there is that guy though. So that cultist is still there. As fucked as it is, he is going to look at you with one last kind of attempt, go to swing a mace at you, and then run. So he does make a mace attack at Vanril. 13 to...
No.
Let's... All right, so it is more or less, this is his distraction, was his hope. So he swings a mace in your direction to kind of flail it in your face. It's a weak attack. He doesn't even try to do any damage. But his main goal is then to turn and flee. He immediately turns tail and tries to jump off of this thing. You both get to make opportunity attacks at this cultist. So let's make a beak attack. That's going to be a 15. That'll hit. So yeah, he does take some damage from a beak that clips onto the back of one of his legs as he turns to run. But you also get to make a melee or opportunity attack there, Vanril.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
You ever had your ass slapped by an owlbear, boy?
10.
All right. It's okay. For what you miss, the owlbear makes up for. That owlbear does, I already rolled damage, does 9 points of damage and clips this guy across the back of the leg. And he'd already taken some damage to begin with, so.
As he swings the mace at me.
He goes to turn and run, and as the owlbear clips the bottom of his leg, it actually rips a chunk out of his lower calf, and you see this cultist splash down hard into the water right here and go prone, and it's taking him the rest of his movement just to clatter back to his feet and try and make his way to the bank right here. He's like dragging himself up on the bank. He's fucked up. But these cultists no longer seem to be your biggest concern. So
yeah,
let's go ahead and move to Vanril next. It is your turn.
I just want to ask one question because I forget. Isn't it? Does it? It's only one opportunity attack per turn, right? So if Owlbear took it, would that be his one per turn? Or I forget how it works.
Yeah,
I remember.
It's a reaction. So
yeah.
Owlbears are tough mamas.
Owlbears are tough mamas. Thank you for the sub, man. Awesome, sweet, buff fan, you're my guy. But yeah, so you only get one reaction per turn. You know what I mean? And that was his reaction. So until it comes back and he gets a refreshed turn, he can't make any other opportunity attacks. You could use the moment to run like hell yourself if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah. So was as the cultist starts to run, get bit, it's like, I was gonna let you run, but okay. Turns back towards the owlbear, takes one swing at him. It'd be a 22.
22 will hit the owlbear.
Yep. And I do 8 points of slashing. No, one. That'd be 3 points of slashing damage. Okay, 3 points.
Okay, 3 points of slashing damage to the owlbear.
Yep.
You made it.
Seeing that barely. Yeah. See, it just kind of slightly scratched its face. I went, okay, and I'm running this way.
Yeah, the funny thing is, you pull out the sword, just crash down into it, and this hide is like trying to cut through some of the strongest leather you've ever had to cut through. Whatever these things are made of, it's durable, that's for sure. It barely even lances a cut. It could have possibly took a throat out of a human man, but for this thing, it seems to barely have made a scratch. It's definitely an intimidating presence.
As I get back down to here, I sort of get back behind this trunk and sort of put my back to it and yell up to Ray, like, Ray, I think you need to step in now.
Right. And the funny thing is, looking around, you don't see Rhea. She has kind of
I just yelled out. Yeah. I just yelled out into somewhere like, I think you need to do something.
Right. Yeah. Nobody's actually sure as to where Rhea is. I don't think. But she's still roughly right here. Actually, she's right next to you. So, that's the way. She had just taken her time. I made a roll for her to hide in the bushes. Let's see. All right, cool. So Vanril jumps down off of there using the opportunity that he has. Let's see. Next up would be one of the dead Nightblades, followed by Maxwell. Maxwell, it's your turn, actually.
All right, so.
Throw a tankard at it.
Oh no, I've got a way more brilliant plan. I'm going to move up to here, standing over the prone, panicking, possibly wet himself, bound up cultist. I'm going to face the owlbear, lower my crossbow, and I'm going to hold out a hand and attempt to persuade it that we're not the enemy.
The owlbear?
The owlbear.
Oh shit, man! This is going to be a very tough roll.
I do have animal handling, if that helps.
Okay.
All right.
It would definitely be the role required here would be an animal handling role. I will unfortunately say that. Let me just go ahead and give you some deets on this, right?
Ooh,
So one,
ranger.
difficult roll. Two, you guys have been in combat with it, so it would be in a disadvantaged roll. You know what I mean? It's kind of already been agitated, so to speak. So I will let you make the roll if you want. Hey, you never know, man. You could get lucky.
I was gonna say, I understand Snowball's chance in hell, but
right. I just figured I'd give you the fair warning. I was trying to at least give it out there, but I want to see it. Watch him roll 2 nat 20s.
Now we got an 18
Hang on.
and a 7.
An 18 and a 7. As you reach the hand out there and kind of give it that momentary, like, look at it, it kind of just turns and looks at you and gives a roar. I can't do the owlbear thing. It's kind of that right in your face, and you can just feel spit and heat splashing against your face, and like it's moving your hair, fluttering in the wind. You know what I mean? Kind of that thing with, like, in the cartoon where they're hanging the dog's hanging its head out the window. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, you just hear the cultist underneath of you going, "You fucking dumb! Get me out of here!" Help! But
right.
yeah.
So in that case, I'm going to. He said he's tied up, right?
He is tied. Yeah, he is bound. Well, his hands and feet are bound, as far as that goes. But he's not tied to the altar itself. You know what I mean?
All right. Am I able to
He's also
drop
been stabbed
him?
Once.
Oh yeah, but who here hasn't been stabbed?
Who hasn't?
So can I drop the dagger I'm carrying from my cultist disguise to him and then leg it in the other direction?
Yeah, absolutely. The owlbear doesn't have any sort of opportunity attack. You didn't get close enough anyway. But yeah, you can kind of drop a dagger just on his chest, and he just looks at it like, shit. He tries to like fumble and grab it. You feel like it'll probably help, but we'll see who gets there first, him or the owlbear. You know what I mean? It's a race against the clock, I guess, on that one.
The fates will decide his fate.
You have given him a better opportunity than what he had, and he has a slight look of thanks for that. Let's see. So after you hoof it out, that would make it Numo's turn. So Numo, you're up next. I forgot to mark X on this person, but this one's down. You've killed this cultist. This one over here was ragdolled. So this one is dead. Try to just make sure I've got X's on all these dead ones. So yeah, this is, you've got this guy here in the stream that seems to be pretty damaged as far as that goes, but is trying to make his way out of there. You see this one over here fighting with Alejandro, and then of course the biggest issue now is an owlbear that has arrived thanks to the chat.
Yep.
I do want to pick up that dagger from that person if I can.
Yeah.
Would that still be a bonus action?
Fresh turn. I'll let you at this point. You've had a moment to sitting next to them. You see that they do have a dagger and a kind of what do you call it? A mace and a dagger attached to their belt. You know what I mean? Now that you've kind of had a second to sit there and stare at them, it's a little bit easier to identify. I won't make you waste a whole bonus action this time,
okay. But I'm going to get to this cultist here, and
this one definitely seems to be your ringleader of the bunch.
Really?
Well, I just meant he was the one that was kind of performing the ritual and yelled for the rest, but he is wrecked as he's making his way out of the water. You could see a trail of blood, in the water, a pool of blood in the water that's now running down. It is discoloring quite a bit behind him, and he looks pretty desperate as he's coming out of the water there for sure.
Is he still knocked down?
He is prone currently, kind of, as no, he would have used half his movement to get up. I did say that. So he's kind of half and half, like using his hands and feet to crawl up the bank, but not technically prone.
Yet.
I'm going to shove him, use the shove action and push him back down toward the owlbear and say, "That is your target to fight, my man."
Nice. All right. Well, this would be an opposed strength versus so it'd be strength athletics versus his strength or dexterity acrobatics. Let's go ahead and see here what he rolls.
I did not roll good.
See, now where did he look at those? I don't know. I know you can't see it. You rolled a 6 and a 4. He rolled a 4 and a 6. But since you're only using the first numbers in these, he rolled a natural 1 to your 6. So you have shoved him back, and he's just coming up on the bank. He looks at you like, "Come on, man, seriously?" And you're just like, "Hey, your problem to fight, my dude." Goof, and shove him back down in the water.
Yeah, Van Riel yelled back at just, "That's what you get."
That's what you get. What?
In bird culture, this is known as a dick move.
This is what's known
the
as
dick
a
move is
dick
I'm going to go
move.
in the bushes with the rest of my action.
Oh, that's great,
my
man.
movement.
Yeah, you absolutely shove him 5 feet. He goes rolling back into the water. He splashes down. Now he is prone. And laying there in that puddle of water, a much easier target for the owlbear to get a hold of at the moment. That is hilarious. Let's see.
That's my whole turn, by the way.
Nice
By the way.
stream, nice string of bloody red water leading down this direction from him. Okay, so that's your turn. Let's see who is up next. After Numo is, it's weird how I have to do this. I kind of gotta switch back and forth. That would be the one fighting Alejandro. So Alejandro, the guy fighting against you, does make another one of those mace attacks.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, if I could do this. Blah, 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 blah. Damn it. Keep clicking on the wrong one. All right, there we go. That is a 17 versus armor class, so this one should probably work a little bit better. Unfortunately, it doesn't hit for very much. He only gets you for 3 points of damage, though. So as he takes attack, he does do 3 points of bludgeoning damage as he kind of crashes into you with this, small mace. And as you get a look at the mace, it is made of metal. You know what I mean? It's got a kind of leather-wrapped handle with a metal shaft, and at the end of it, there's a skull that has kind of like sunken in eyes, and you could tell it's absolutely a skull kind of shape. It's not very well made, not the best, but it's definitely pretty decent, shiny. Yeah, as far as that goes. Okay, I was reading extras about the character, but no, you're good to go as far as that goes. So yeah, it's your turn after that, Alejandro.
I'm gonna do another swing.
Okay, try and return the favor on him.
Yes, I will do that. I will do that on him. And hold on 1 second.
Can't believe there's an owlbear fighting down my level 2s.
Hey,
I feel bad.
Should have saved that smite.
What am I supposed to do? Throw a dagger at it? No, I'm gonna beat it.
Right.
No, throw a cultist at it.
Run.
I don't have to outrun the owlbear. I just have to outrun you, right?
Why do you think I dropped that guy the night before I ran? I need him to be more of a distraction.
Right? Think we got 2 turns there?
Buy an extra round of escape.
Guess we're not saving that guy.
That's good stuff. All
No.
right, so let's see. Looks like so Alejandro, another 10 on the rapier, right?
Yeah.
Man, this is harsh. I'm trying to see. Let me make sure. Yeah, 10 is not going to be enough. It's just shy. Like, he's not a very terrible guy. He's only wearing, cloth robes. But that dexterity bonus helps him that little bit extra, you know what I mean? So yeah, he sidesteps this thing yet again. And he kind of actually takes a moment to look at you. He says, "Do you even understand what you're doing, fool? We're... let's see. I'm trying to think of what he would say. Something to the effect of like, there is no running from death. Death has come for all of us, and today it has come for you." Kind of some edgelordy, kind of statement. He's feeling a little proud of himself at the moment.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he takes his sidestep of your attack, and unless you have anything else that you'd like to do there, it moves. Good.
I am good.
All right. In that case, we move back to the owlbear. So I kind of should probably put a token on the map here to represent our guy on the... There we go. Our guy on the altar here. So he begins... Let's go ahead and just deal with this. We'll deal with that. Okay. That owlbear's probably going to have to take a bite on that guy, I can imagine. I feel bad for him, but, like, he's there, right? So the owlbear gets to make multiple attacks. Let's... Oh.
Goodbye, friend. It was nice knowing you.
Right.
Hope he wasn't plot critical.
Well, we'll find out later.
Let's check all these cultists here. I feel like I do have a stat block for this guy. Yeah, that would be enough to hit. So the owlbear is going to take a bite out of him. Yeah, you see this guy get mauled. So he's frantically cutting. You see him trying, his best to move the knife around to cut the binds on his wrist. And just as he breaks free, you see the arms move out to the side, and the owlbear just bear into his chest and just starts shaking, and pieces of meat flying in either directions as this thing pecks a huge chunk out of his chest. You hear the screams of this man, and after but just a second, he stops moving. After that, the owlbear is going to use its movement to stand atop this guy for a second. So that's going to be 5, 10. Oh man, where has he got to go from here? He's got this guy right here. I guess that was the distraction point, right? So yeah, he's gonna take another shot at that guy.
Just as I planned.
That guy was prone. That guy was prone because you shoved him. You know that, right? So that makes this an advantage to attack, which makes this a critical hit for somewhere around like 24 points of damage, something like that. I think. Yeah.
Let's be paced.
So
more than I could have done.
That is that's rough, man. So yeah, you see the owlbear as he kind of, steps up on the altar. He takes but just a second to look around. He's very feral at this point. You could tell the owlbear's just simply trying to defend itself, but it seems almost afraid and ferally reacting. It takes a moment to look around, and as it reaches down and just grabs into this guy and rips the head off one direction and splat, it goes the other way. Whoever just did the numerous, that was you. Whoever just did the blood splatter across the screen, fucking perfect. It just slid right across the. I love it. That is amazing. Yeah, but just rips the head off and more or less just takes the. You know what? He grabs the head and goes to throw the whole body, but the head and body do separate at a certain point before it goes scattering back to behind him somewhere. You know, he lands probably over here. You know, just poof, two different pieces. But now the owlbear has only one thing left in front of it, and it's little Maxwell, and it just gives you that same roar in your face again, and does move to try and come down your direction. So it's up in your grill, man. That's where he'll stay. You know what? Actually, he'd probably hold his defensible position. He probably wouldn't move straight down just yet. So let's. I'll give you that much. I won't put you in melee with it. I'll give you what I can, man. I know this thing is way stronger than your level should allow, but it's hey, man. I said at the beginning, some of these challenges can get difficult, especially if the chat participates. Okay, so let's see. Vanril, you are up next, my friend. So you're at the top of the initiative round, and I do also notice that we are right now at 12. If you guys don't mind sticking in just a couple of minutes, I'll finish this really quickly, and we'll get ourselves out of here. I was trying to speed through, but this kind of slowed things a bit.
Yeah. So he sort of looks at the other ones and just kind of goes, "We running?"
Yes.
Of course. It's an owlbear.
That actually reminds me. I apologize. Speaking real momentarily. Before I get to you, I was going to have her act at the bottom of the round because I didn't initially put her in. Rhea would step out of the bushes and say, you know, what's the plan? You know, and kind of look to the rest of you. She sees that Alejandro still has an enemy on his side, so that could, you know, cause complication. She sees a couple of you down in the dirt, etc. But she does actually take out her her heavy crossbow that you had seen attached to her back, and she will take one shot at that owlbear. That is a dirty 20 on her behalf, just to try and help. Let me go ahead and roll damage for her as well.
Did she kill it?
Why did that not auto-roll damage? I don't ever use... Oh, wow. No, she does 2 damage to it. Does she have multi-attack? She does. She has multi-attack. Makes too long, so if it has... I'll go ahead and let her. She can't reload with a heavy crossbow. Never mind. Shit. Yeah, that's the best she can do for the moment. So, what's that?
She could throw a dagger.
She could throw a dagger or something like that, right? You know, she doesn't have a dagger. I'm not used to this character sheet. I'll use a short sword, but I'll just I'll dock it 2 damage. 13. That's enough to hit the owlbear. We'll just take 2 off of that. She does 5 extra damage, so 7 points of damage total to the owlbear. As she just kind of throws everything she has at this thing. She shoots it, throws a dagger, and she's like, "What are we doing?"
I don't suppose you have a scroll of. We're going to scroll pacify owlbear.
You know what I mean? That's kind of all she gets out. She looks pretty intimidated at this point too. Yeah. So there we go. Now back to Vanro. I do apologize. She looks at you with, "What are we doing? Staying or going?"
Running.
Okay.
We're running.
So
yeah. So you feel free to move your tokens as far as you want to go there.
I use dash, and let's see. That'd be 5, 10, 30, 1 sec, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60.
Holy shit. This motherfucker's gone. He's moving. All right. So that is Vanril's full action or move and action. Maxwell, what would you like to do on your turn, man?
All right. So there's a dead cultist right here, right?
So no.
Okay.
So he grabbed that guy from here and then launched him over to here. There was also the one that he is standing on top of, though. That is, the one that had the dragon mask next to it that you gave the knife to.
I guess more clear question would be: this dude, did he have a mace?
Yes,
And
he did.
Is that with him, or did he leave it behind here when he got owlbeared?
Let me give you a percentage die on that. I feel like that's a fair question, right? You know what? 82, he dropped his mace. It's laying in the water right below you.
I'm going to grab the mace
when he got flung, so yeah, he wouldn't have held it.
I'm going to grab the mace, and then I'm going to exercise the better part of valor. And I'm going to run as fast as I can in the opposite direction.
Fair enough.
I may or may not be screaming like a little girl at this point.
And take off running. Fair enough. Let's see. Okay, Numo, what would you like to do here, man?
I would like to get out of here.
I feel like whoever added the owlbear, it worked. You know what I mean? These guys are like, no, fuck it, I'm out.
Nope,
we get out of here. We're leaving.
Yeah.
We'll come back for the stuff later. We'll come back for everything later.
Everything else later. We know where it's at.
Forgetting it.
They're all dead except for one, and it's probably going to be dead very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, Alejandro can finish him.
Yep. So Numo, are you taking? Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure if I told you, but yeah, whatever you'd like to do there, man.
30 there. I think I'm out of daggers. Otherwise, I would have helped Alejandro get out of that combat.
I can't remember. No. Here's why. Because earlier when I made the discussion about the cultist robes, you were given a third dagger. You were given one of the dragon cultist daggers. And you used one of hers on the last throw. You should theoretically have a dagger left. So that's up to you if you want to throw it or not, but you should have one dagger left on your person.
Okay. Kind of puts me in a bad position here. But I'll throw it at Alejandro's target.
I'll throw it at Alejandro? What? Don't do that.
As his target.
But see, the enemy will never expect that move.
Right. Yeah, catch him by surprise. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and throw one at his target, go for it. Yeah, that one of the cultists that's there with Alejandro.
Okay. Give me a second. Throw in the dagger.
That is only going to be a 7. It goes wide, man. This guy is the most agile dude in the world. Nobody's been able to hit this dude. But yeah, it flies wide, and you actually see it stick in that tree stump, right, or whatever you'd want to call that, the fallen tree right here behind him. Like it pins just right beside his head, and he does turn and look at you to acknowledge that you threw it, but it did miss.
Yeah, unless I can level up and get my bonus action dash, I think that's my turn.
There you go. Still a few low owlbears
than I want to be.
Right, still a little tight there. All right. Well, after Numo would be that Nightblade. He is going to, survey his situation. He's really looking at the obstacles before and ahead. I think his goal is going to be to try and shove Alejandro prone. Alejandro, I need you to make either a strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics check versus his strength athletics. He is going to try and shove you down and run. That is his goal, but he has to do it using strength, so he's not the toughest. He rolled good though.
I rolled a 12.
Okay. He does manage to shove you down. He kind of takes this opportunity. The log is right behind you. He shoves and you kind of fall to the ground. And then he tries to take off running over this log and through the woods. He's out of here. You do get an opportunity attack against him if you want it, but it's at disadvantage because you're prone, right? Is that
Hey,
thing?
I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, but does anybody remember that? Is that true? Do you get a disadvantage if you're prone? I think no, actually regular attack.
Yeah.
I think it's only advantage against you, but I don't think that gives you disadvantage. So yeah, regular attack roll. That's one of those rules I don't have to use often. But yeah, if you just want to go ahead and make an attack roll against him, feel free, man.
15.
That does it. So as you go down, you fall at just the right moment. As he goes to step over top of you, you can run that rapier right across calves and ankles and Achilles tendons and all that. Feel free to go ahead and roll your damage on that one.
10 points
Oh,
of
shit.
damage.
10 points of damage. He falls. He goes to step over you, you cut him, and he collapses just beyond the other side of that log. So you see him go to step over it, and he just tumbles over. You hear him crash to the other side and scream. You've cut his Achilles heel. He can't walk anymore. He's still alive with 1 hit point, but he can't walk.
We have things to discuss, you and I.
Nice. Would you like to? So you have movement left, and you've used that. I'm gonna say at this point you're kind of all on your way
Well, I
out.
still should have an attack, don't I? Because that was the attack of
You
opportunity.
do as a reaction.
That was your attack of opportunity, correct? That was on his turn, so it's now your turn. That's what I was gonna say. It seems like everybody's trying to run. Do you want to take a cultist with you?
Yes. Yes.
Can I get? But if I get up, I can't run. I gotta stand up.
It takes a little bit of your movement. It takes half your movement. You know what I mean? So it'll still leave you with 15 feet of movement, and then you have an option to either use your action to
Well, what
run
if
30
I did
feet.
Can I dash, or
Mhm.
is that not
Yeah.
possible?
No, that's possible. That's what I said. Essentially, just to stand up will take 15 feet of your movement, so you still have 15 feet you can move freely. But if you want to use the dash action, you can move 45 feet total.
All right, and stand up. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
the other
will
option would
move-
be if you tried to, like, I don't know, it might be kind of hard to drag this guy along with you, because that would make you at half speed again. You'd only get like 30 feet total out of the whole thing, but
The owlbear would be the last
Okay.
target for you.
yeah, it might not be the best. That's
okay,
up to you,
it's
though.
20 feet to be like
Yeah.
right next to Maxwell.
Hi.
Yeah, so your natural
And
your
then-
natural movement will let you get to here, and then if you want to go full sprint, you can get clear down to here.
I go full sprint.
Okay. So you jump up and run. You hear that cultist. Curse you! Curse you! I welcome it freely! What do you do, coward? You know, kind of talking his shit as you run away from him. And you hear again this mighty of the owlbear roaring as you take off booking it that direction. Alejandro, Nightblade, you hear this guy screaming. Numa, are you planning on continuing to run?
Yes.
Okay, you are rather quick. I will say, with you being the stealthiest, the smallest, and planning on running, as you step to this point, you know what I mean, kind of get to here, you're met with Rhea. She kind of looks at you and says, "There's nothing more we can do here. Let us go." and kind of just shoves you in the run direction and starts booking off behind you. The last thing that you see as any of you turn around and make your way out of this is the owlbear slowly lumbering towards this man, screaming from behind that log, "I'll kill you all! I'll find you!" You know, the final, you know, yell and lurch as this man is being devoured by an owlbear. You have killed all the cultists. You may not have gathered as much information as you may have hoped, but you live to fight another day, and you remember where this area is. Maybe there's something you could come back and obtain at a later time. But we're a little bit after time, and this owlbear is, you know, still currently got its dinner to handle. The owlbear's hungry. It needs its dinner right now. So I think this is, you know, pretty close to a great place to bring it to a close, if that's all right with you guys. But let me go ahead and do this. So as you guys continue running, after a few moments, you feel that the screams from behind you grow quieter. The sound of the owlbear a bit farther in the distance. Eventually you do hear one final haroo as it's, you know, trailing off behind you. You make it back to the road and eventually back to your horses, where you're able to make your way out of this location and start heading back to towards town. Let's see. But as you're finally making your trot back down the road, Freya does mention something similar, that at least we've lived to fight another day. It seems we could have been worse. We will report to Gideon. Gideon will tell us.
Information.
We learned that.
Yeah.
We learned that cultists not the same one. Gideon will need this information. We should return to city.
He might also like to see this. And I hold up the skull-patterned mace that the red rope cultist had.
Awesome. That's really cool. I didn't mean to roll two of those, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and split the difference on that. She looks at that. She says, "That is the symbol of Baal, the god of death. It seems these cultists do not worship dragons. The others, maybe." And kind of gets a look. This is good information. We must get back to Gideon. And as you make your way, you know, as quickly as you can, heading back towards the city, it's only as you make your final approach upon the city that as you see the guiding light of the companion leading you home, you feel a little bit of relief as you've gotten to put this problem behind you and make it back to a point where you might get a day's rest and some bandages, maybe even a good stern drink before you have to go back out and deal with this problem again. But it catches you off guard as you stare at this companion, as it begins to turn black in the sky before you. Suddenly you hear the cries of horrified citizens shouting out that fill the air as a rip in the sky bursts open behind the companion that you've grown used to seeing, a light over top of the city of El Chirel. You hear this terrible sound like ripping fabric, but 1,000 times louder. And all of a sudden you see the skies rip open above the city and the companion turn black. The companion of El Chirel, let's see. The companion, man, they have done such a terrible job at wording this. Let me do it myself. As you're seeing this, chains begin to lash down from this rip in the sky and latch on. Chains beyond the size of anything that you could ever fathom or move. It's the size of small buildings per each link that lash down out of the sky, slamming into the city and parts that you see. From the perspective that you have, you watch a crack begin forming around the entirety of the city as these chains keep sucking down through the ground and eventually link into this, you know, central focus above the city. As it begins pulling and cracking, the grounds rip open and you are watched as the city of El Terrell is sucked below the earth, being dragged into what you can only describe as a fiery hole beneath the city. El Terrell has fallen, so to speak. You're unsure, but the only thing that you hear is the screams of people as you are standing there watching in horror. You do see a couple of people managing to run from the city and flee in your direction or in all directions from this hillside that you stand atop looking down. And the city is dragged away before your very eyes. The comprehension of this is immeasurable, that you could understand what is happening or what is taking place. But the one thing that you see as the last thing that you would see as you're standing there with a look of shock and horror on your face watching the city being ripped into another dimension is a rainbow scarf that comes fluttering helplessly along the wind and trails past you and your companions. And that is where we will leave our adventure for the evening. Yay! I didn't like the way they wrote it. I should have read that first. I didn't. It just said the companion and El Terrell ripped into hellish void. A massive flame and chain slashed the city and to drag it into Avernus. You don't know that. Anyway, but yeah, that's where we'll leave off as you guys are standing on this hillside as you watch that rainbow scarf that you would recognize flutter on the wind and scatter past you helplessly, knowing that you had told her to head home safely. But yeah, you have a place to come back to as far as things you may search, but your home as you know it has just been removed from the world. And that gives you an opportunity to maybe try and figure some new things out next week. But yeah, thank you guys, man. I tried to rush it there a little bit at the end. I was like, we're past time. I didn't want to stay too long. It's funny. That's the second time in a row. We started 30 minutes late, finished 30 minutes late. I got to we're getting the 4-hour part right. I just got to shift it that 30 minutes forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys.
Of course.
Consistent time.
Yeah, I definitely want to say thank you to all you guys that rated. Thank you to those that followed. Thank you to those that subscribed. Thank you to the person that added that owlbear. Holy shit. I put it in there because it mentioned it in the book that it was a possibility. And I was like, there's no way I'm doing this unless somebody adds an ally. And nobody's going to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody.
I was
That would never happen.
There's so many cultists already. I don't think anybody would do that. And then it was the first 5 I was like, oh yes, I get to throw the owlbear at them. Sweet. That's great. And you guys, you might still have to deal with that thing if you go back. It's probably guarding over its meat for the next day. It's got a small buffet to eat on. But yeah, you guys watch as the city of El Terrell is ripped from the sky right in front of you. So like I said, as you see it, just that bright sun that's always been above El Terrell that you've known to kind of, be the name companion almost is fitting, that it's been a befitting friend of anyone that lives in El Terrell. It's kind of, that reminder that you're almost home, that things are going to be okay, things like that. You get to watch that as it turns dark and black, chains fall from that sphere, latch onto the city, and then just keep dragging it down through until it cracks the earth beneath it and pulls it down into a fiery abyss. There's just like if you're standing there looking down in the hole, it goes infinitely. The comprehension that there should be earth under there doesn't make sense. There's obviously a planar divide. But yeah, the skies even above the city turn black and roll with fire. Anything above this fiery pit as you watch your home and most likely everyone you've ever known or loved just be destroyed. So it's a tough emotional situation for the characters, I'm sure, and we'll get to see how they face that next week. You just watch Rhea fall to her knees and cry. The strength of this woman that you've seen, she just falls to her knees with no idea what to do. She just lost everything she's ever known, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's where we'll leave off for the week. And
horse.
My horse. But yeah, that owlbear got plenty of snacks. Lonky, oh, poor Lonky. Lonky the donkey. Oh man, That's a tough one. I'm just so I knew that the one thing they did put in on the reading was the part about, you see the scarf helplessly fluttering off on the wind, and I was just like, oh, that makes me so sad. Oh man, she just had hope. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be that, and then you just see the scarf. That's fucking terrible. But we don't know. You never know what might happen there as far as that goes. But yeah,
Scholar of Avernus.
this is all the more reason why this group of Hell Riders would be that much more determined to maybe try to get to the bottom of what's happening here and hopefully put some remedy to the situation if they can. But the first thing I think everyone's going to have to do is help any survivors, refugees that are left, and find some place of shelter. And that is where we will start into Baldur's Gate, descent into Avernus. Then we'll pick up where the actual campaign begins, is as the refugees are arriving in the city after you've had a day or two. And we'll put a little downtime in there. I'll discuss it with you between, sessions and stuff. And of course, if anyone wants to do the Monday thing with us, feel free. We do a little bit of talk on Mondays about the game, and we'll plan it out before then. But yeah, thank you guys for playing, man. It was a good one. Let me go ahead and wrap this thing up real quick since it is 12:30. I know some of you might have places to be or whatever. I try to keep to the schedule. But let me go ahead and go around. Let's see. Alejandro, you got any final goodbyes, anything like that you want to say, or just kind of any final thoughts on, this situation?
I don't know. I mean, it's great that people are interested in buying us gifts. I just didn't like the gift that they bought.
It's like one of the
He's
like
like,
the
I
white
love you
elephant gift at
guys.
Christmas.
He's like, I really love you guys. I appreciate you, but fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, damn. That's the fun part. Is like, I tried to make sure it was nothing cruel. I didn't want disadvantage. I didn't want anything bad. But yeah, when they add those enemies, it makes for a real challenge in these combats, man. I think that's cool because it's not directly punishing, but at the same time, like, it makes things so much more complicated. Yeah. You could have maybe got some information or interrogated, and like all that kind of got thrown in the wind for a little while. So it definitely adds a new level of complication that you have to do a little more research later down the road, right? But either way, let me go ahead and move on to Numo. Numo, what's your final things, and also plug your stuff if you want to, man. Whatever you want to say there.
Just want to say it was a bittersweet moment with the Owlbear. Yeah, glad to see people using that. That's cool. But yeah, Numerousness. You can follow me on Twitch, and I usually stream there on Thursdays, Saturdays. Otherwise, I'm here pretty much a lot of the other days. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm just that's a cool one though, man. I'm glad to see you starting to get into the streaming thing. Let me go ahead and while I'm at it, let's see if I type that right. Yeah, shout out for Numerousness. If you haven't already, go over and give him a follow. Check him out. He's been doing some cool video gaming over there. Make sure to show one of our friends some love, guys. I appreciate it if you do. Let's go to Maxwell. Final thoughts. What do you think? Do we just forget about it and go to Waterdeep or what?
Nah, I think we can definitely do some good around the city. I will say, as far as that encounter goes, I was going to try and come up with something funny, but all of the puns that I could think of were just unbearable. So,
well done.
Thank you.
Unbearable. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Does Maxwell have aspirations to become a ranger?
Right?
No, it's just at this level, before I hit a subclass, all I've got is a crossbow, and then I happen to I picked up animal handling for a proficiency because I was like, well, he works with the Hell Riders, he probably should be decent with a horse, right?
Yeah.
So I was like,
they kind of do have a cavalry situation, yeah. I think that's an interesting one, though. I like it because it's kind of a weird quirk about you that just like maybe you like animals. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people they'll go blacksmith. They'll immediately take athletics or constitution based stuff or whatever it might be. Maybe I'm a drinker and a fighter and a worker. You're like maybe I like some animals too. You know what I mean? It's a different direction. I think it's an interesting quirk for the character. All right.
Like I said, I built for the meme.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, last but definitely not least, our newest member, Vanroll. I'm super glad that you joined us, man. I had a lot of fun with you tonight. So like, go ahead and tell these guys where they can find you at too.
Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed, being around. Usually on either YouTube or Kick actually. I've been doing a bit of those. The Jackal is my thing. For both of those, same thing basically everywhere. But yeah, no, I've really enjoyed joining this with you guys. I've been looking for a game for a little while, and it's glad I popped in with this one.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too, man. I think it was a lot of fun to get to play with the idea that like all of a sudden a real adventurer shows up. By real, we put big air quotes around that, right? But
Yeah.
like that was the fun part. She was just like, "Oh, thank God, somebody here to help," and you were the first one. Like, that's a fucking owlbear. I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, no.
That's an
You know when you have your limitations. Get the fuck.
That's exactly it.
That's how you live as an adventurer. You know when to get the fuck out.
Absolutely. But yeah, I can't do the shout out thing on here because of course it's on Kick.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out, Kick the Jackal. I'll try to throw a link in our self promo tab on the Discord as well, so you guys can check it out. But yeah, I looked it up. The one thing to remember is skip the E on Jackal, right? It's just JACKL. Yeah, because I found you on YouTube and on Kick. I sent follows out this morning when I was looking at it to check it out. But yeah, man, good stuff. I also see that you do a little bit of horror gaming. That's what I caught on the thing. Dude, I don't know if you got like I'm definitely on the what the hell ever it's called, Ghost Hunter game. Why can't I think of it?
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia. I don't know if you've checked out Demonologist yet, but I got both.
Yeah.
So I'm all about playing those games.
Yeah.
You ever need somebody to hunt some ghosts with you? I have been playing the hell out of those on stream. But either way, man, yeah, I'm glad to have you join the team, man. Either way. But yeah, guys, we're at 12:35. I want to go ahead and let these guys get out of here. I will probably come back on. I'll do a little bit of light streaming here in about a half hour or so. I always say 15 minutes, and then it takes me longer. So tonight, I'm just going to say, like, give me a half hour. I'll come back on. I'll probably play some Blood Hunt or a little bit of games just to kind of, I'm still wired after the game. So we'll hang out. We'll chat about it if you want to. But thank all of you so much. Like, seriously, I'm glad that our game is moving now, that you guys are showing all the support that you are. It means everything to me. Like, I appreciate that someone tried to talk to the bear. That's great. Flurry Vet, the best. But yeah, I really, really just want to say thank you to all you guys for showing your support. Like, I want to keep running these games. I love being able to provide this for the players and for me and for you, but like, this is my full-time gig. So if I don't, if we don't get some support, I can't keep the lights on. So like, it means everything to me that you guys let us play these games. It's only thanks to you guys. So thank you for everything, seriously. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go there. I'll come back in like half hour. We'll chit chat then. But thank you to my players, man. You guys fucking rocked. You survived an owlbear attack. Well played. But all right, man.
Sacrificing some cultists.
Yeah, that's it. I will make sure to see you guys next week, and check us out on Wednesdays for Vampire, Fridays for D&D. If anyone wants to, come back on Monday night, 8 p.m. actually for D&D, it'll be 10 p.m. till midnight. We'll take 2 hours to discuss the D&D game. If you want to come check it out with us then, see y'all there. But I will let y'all go. You have a wonderful night, and I'll see y'all here in a little bit. Peace.
Peace.
Oof.